I'm Steve from Nearly Wild, and today I'm here with
Mark, and I have a company called Living-room, and we do treehouse holidays.
Treehouse Holidays.
Yeah.
Sounds really inspiring. What sort of thing? I mean, am I literally going to be climbing up into some little piece of fabric over a platform, or is this?
Yeah, you imagine when you were 6 years old, lying in bed, dreaming of living in a treehouse.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're going for, really.
Wow.
So yeah, it's magical, remote tree houses that we design and build.
And how do I go to the toilet?
In the treehouse.
Oh, okay. All right.
Were you thinking over the side of the
Yeah,
treehouse?
I was getting a bit worried then. Yeah.
We got Swedish compost toilets.
Right.
40 feet up in the trees.
Right. Oh, so it's quite smart.
Well, we think so.
Yeah.
We've worked really hard to make them magical, bit luxurious, very eco, and hopefully a holiday that folks love.
Lovely. And so we're actually in Machynlleth at the moment. You've probably noticed we have to sit a fair distance apart because obviously we're maintaining the social distancing, just in case you wonder why we're doing this. We're in one of your shop in Machynlleth.
Yes.
What happens here?
This is the Deco Shop,
Right.
and my partner is Camilla, and she's an interior designer. So we sell stuff for your home.
Yeah.
So she's got a couple of shops in Mac,
Right.
Deco Shop and Bedwen. It's sort of Swedish Welsh aesthetic. So come and buy your stuff for your house anytime. Mention Steve's name and 10% off.
There you are. Lovely. So it's really interesting actually, because we were talking about that very fact that a number of us actually have more than one business. We live in rural areas. We tend to have this kind of diversity, and part of it's about maintaining a lifestyle as well, and partly other things. And I know you also do some work elsewhere, have some activity in Birmingham. And I'm interested particularly in this kind of this nature-friendly element of what you're doing and what we were talking about really. How important do you think that kind of connectivity with nature is to people coming to your tree houses, for example?
It's why they come.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean they that sort of feeling of disassociation, I think that many people who live in big cities have. I think it's just a basic human craving to embrace the natural environment. I think people need that, and we just created a tourism opportunity that allowed people to live high up in the tree canopy, a long way from the outside world and everybody else, to be alone with the people they love, embracing nature for a few days, and it's a winning combination really. We have a huge amount of repeat customers. We've been full since we opened.
Wow.
So 10 years ago. We've not had an empty night for 10 years, and we're open all year apart from 6 weeks. So it's obviously something people really want and value.
And the tree houses are not far from here, are they?
No, they're about 8 miles from Machynlleth.
Right.
Yeah.
And are they in a woodland setting or out on the hill or?
Yeah, but both really. They're on a hill in a woodland.
Okay.
So when people arrive, we meet them when they arrive, and then it's a 15-minute walk from the car park to the treehouse. The 6 tree houses all together, and it's sort of choreographed experience in that they won't see another tree house during their walk, and they have a real sense of just I mean theoretically they could drive to the tree house if we built a track, but the point of this experience is that they get a really strong sense of walking away from the outside world into the heart of nature. So in that sense it is choreographed, and I think people really, other examples would be there's no curtains in the tree houses.
Right.
Because we want people to wake up when it gets light and go to sleep when it gets dark. So we've made lots of design decisions that really, highlight this sort of immersion in a kind of different type of environment, and people seem to really get a lot out of that.
It's really interesting. So, I mean, you're kind of building a whole sense of this sort of relationship for the people with the natural world when they're coming in.
Yeah.
And I mean, presume that's drawing on the sort of wonderful countryside that we've got in this area as well.
Yeah.
Do you think that we're making the most of, if you like, what we've got to offer in this area in terms of that sort of presentation of all
it's
this?
so exciting. Like we're just scratching the surface. Mid Wales is where, this area around Machynlleth, and the whole of Mid Wales, I think, is like a sleeping giant as far as tourism goes. Modern, futuristic tourism is all about the natural environment. People have completely embraced this requirement of being environmentally conscious with their holidays. The sort of domestic tourism industry in the UK is really starting to take off, I think, and Mid Wales in particular, I think, is just poised. And if the right products are there, it could be a real growth area for Mid Wales economy, I think. So I don't think it's been done particularly well at the moment. I think there are a lot of businesses that have set up in the last 5 years that are really starting to hit the nail on the head, and I think the future, if it continues to evolve, this sort of eco-tourism industry is really exciting.
That's really interesting. Maybe a slightly more difficult question in a way, but we were talking before about this idea of supply chain, so where products come from and go to in terms of buying and selling. And I wondered, do you think it's realistic for enterprises like yours to be able to work with other micro businesses in the area to actually get local product that's sort of supporting that natural world and that sort of wildlife friendly environment, or is that really quite difficult to do? I mean, how realistic? Because it's something everybody always talks about, but I wonder how realistic it is.
Well, I mean, the future for micro businesses is definitely getting together and creating critical mass of buying power, if you like, and helping support fledgling businesses in their area by all en masse deciding to patronise those businesses. I mean, we have had, there's great virtue in a range of reasons why small businesses should collaborate. An example would be insurance. This is slightly off topic, but small businesses can negotiate lower insurance premiums if they go to an insurance company together and discuss taking out insurance as a group. So that's a tiny example of how tiny businesses can work together to lower their costs, and equally they can focus on worthy local businesses in a similar manner and help those businesses grow, businesses that have the same outlook as they do.
Yeah. And do you have a sense, I mean, Machynlleth's got a bit of a reputation for being sort of a lot of people coming here because it's the heart or one of the hearts of people who are into the environment and ecology. But do you think there's plenty of local businesses in the area that could supply local foods, local goods that are also wildlife friendly and supporting the sort of local countryside?
Yeah, they definitely are, and we're already doing it to an extent, but it's not a coordinated. I think the rural economy is completely sort of all the different businesses are interdependent, really, and so that's happening to a point. But to sort of formalise that and really give a push in that direction, I think would be great.
Oh, that's really helpful. Great. Well, that's been really interesting chatting through with you. Obviously, for those of you who are interested, if you can manage to find a slot, there's more information about the tree houses at the end of this video in the description, and a link to your website, which I'm sure people will be interested to see more about.
Great.
Meanwhile, thanks very much for meeting up today, and look forward to doing some things together in the future.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.